Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. We are ready for the week that we've all been building towards for the past month or so. Huddersfield, QPR, Coventry, and then Birmingham. 4 games in 8 days. It's going to be stressful. There's going to be some highs and there's going to be some lows. It's going to be barrel of laughs in it, Ben.
Yeah, man.
So let's get on with it. Mick's here as well. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Are you happy with everything?
I'm just no.
What do you mean no?
Well, it's been a difficult week, hasn't it? And I'm still not quite fully over all the both games and the fallout from them. I'm just I'm finding it a bit difficult at the moment, to be honest with you, to motivate myself to be positive and cheerful about Rotherham United, which is sad, really, isn't it? But there you go. But I shall try for the next 50 minutes or so.
Cool. We'll try. So we're mainly going to talk about Huddersfield Town at the game on Saturday. Bearing in mind the result they've come off as well. And then we'll briefly look ahead to the other games, although we'll have an episode out for each of those games as well. So it'll be about 15 million episodes. If you enjoy listening to us, then you're going to be really happy over the next week or two. So Huddersfield Town come off. I thought we'd come off a bad weekend. Huddersfield went to Norwich and lost 7-0. Ben, I'm not sure. Is that good for us or bad for us that they got an absolute battering?
I think that's pretty good for us. I think that's good for us. I mean, the confidence is going to be shot then, isn't it? Absolutely shot. So I think it's good for us. But they could come back and, beat us 7-0. So let's hope not.
Yeah. The good thing for us is that they've got a pretty inexperienced manager. I think he's a pretty experienced coach, but he's a pretty inexperienced manager, and it can take an experienced manager to get them out of the rut that they're in. Because they started off badly, then had a good middle of the season, and they've just gone back into sort of really poor football, is it funny, Mick?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, who did they lose 7-0 to?
Top of the league.
Norwich.
All
right. I assume that's the same Norwich that we only lost 1-0 to, and probably should have drawn with had we had a little bit more of a run at play. Yeah. I wonder how they feel, the Huddersfield supporters feel about the result and what they feel about the rest of the season. Whether they feel the same as some of ours do. I suspect probably not. I don't know. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Quite frankly, you can argue both ways, can't you? They're going to want a reaction from that. But I suspect, and I think it's been mentioned a couple of times on social media over the last couple of days. First goal on Saturday is going to be crucial.
Huge.
If we can get that first goal, then they are definitely going to be there for the taking. If they get the first goal after our performances, and I don't think we've come from behind this season at all. I might be wrong. I don't think we have. Certainly not to win. Then I suspect that could be curtains for another game. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It's going to be a real tough ask this weekend. Real tough. And if I'm erring on the side that didn't do us any favours, that result at Norwich.
Okay. Well, just to give you their sort of recent form, they've only won 2 games out of the last 18 in all competitions. That includes one FA Cup game, which they lost. They're very, very inconsistent. So they lost 7-0 to Norwich. They lost to Preston, lost to Derby, lost to Wickham, but then they went and spanked Swansea 4-1 when Swansea were actually in some decent form. We're also going to look at their fixtures. We're getting to the season where it's time to look at fixtures, and their fixtures are not brilliant, to be fair, in terms of if we can win on Saturday, we drag them back into it. Yeah. Their remaining fixtures will be Bournemouth, who are fighting for a playoff place, Forest are in the form of the season. Barnsley are the form team in the league. Blackburn, all right, they've been rubbish. And the last 2 games are Coventry, who will hopefully still be fighting for their lives, and Reading, who are also going to be fighting for playoffs. So that's not a kind running for them at all. We talk about Aaron being pretty kind. That's not kind for them at all, is it, Ben?
No, but, it comes to this point in the season where it doesn't really matter who you face, I don't think. I just think when it comes to this point, it's just how bad you want it. Like, I know that's the most cliche English football term I think there is out there, but it genuinely does come down to who wants it more, because the Championship is not a good... Like, it is a good league, but the margin is nowhere near, like, Premier League, for example. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everyone's very relatively similar. So I just think it comes down to who wants it more. And they don't strike me as a team who is, what's the word? Motivated, confident, aggressive type team. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think... We're on about Huddersfield, aren't we? They're winning games, yeah. Sorry. I don't even thought you were on about Norwich or someone, then I'm like... But no,
Norwich will be fine.
Yeah, Norwich will be fine. But
they're not going down.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do well. I think they'll crumble, along with a lot of other teams, because they're not very good from what I remember. So,
yeah, they're one of them teams that are probably a win and a draw away from being safe, but it's going to be tough for them because a couple of defeats against teams around them, then. Not only do you expect to lose against Norwich, let's be fair, we all expect to lose against Norwich, but there's a way and a means to go about it, and to get spanked 7-0 is not the way to go about it. Also, bear in mind, also a positive is that they have had 1 day less rest than us. I know it's still 3 days in between gap, but they did have a day less, which suits me down to ground anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bit of team news from us. We're recording for the press match conference. We're on a Thursday night, so. The only news we have so far is that Clark Robertson will not be available for probably at least another week, which rules him out of this run of fixtures. That's a blow, that making it a massive blow. Not necessarily because the player himself, but that means we've either got to play the same 3 at centre-back for the next 4 games, or you've got to change formation at some point within those 4 games.
It depends, doesn't it? It depends if we get one injury out of those 3, out of Woody, Icky, and McDonald. If we get 1 injury, we're not going to be too bad because we can slot Wes Harding in there. Get 2 or a suspension, and we are in trouble because we're going to end up having to revert back to the way a similar formation to what we played on Monday, and that did not suit the way we play. Well, we've covered that enough. I don't think there's no point going over old ground with that, but. We might end up being forced into that position, dependent on any injuries. So yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing, but only because we haven't. It means we haven't got a full squad. I'm not sure what the news on Joe Mattock is. Maybe you can tell me. I don't know. I know there has been some talk of it, but I've not had the opportunity to read it yet. So, but it'd be nice if we could get him certainly back in the matchday squad. It'd be great.
Yeah, from what I've read from the advertiser is that he will be probably available for the squad, but the chance of him starting is basically nil. Yeah. But that's not a problem. If on Saturday he can't play, as long as either Tuesday, Wednesday or Sunday he can, then that's not really a problem. This is the first game of the 4. So you've got a bit of time to give Chio a bit of extra time off the bench, not necessarily start him. Same with Mattock. If we end up being comfortable, which is entirely possible, you can then bring Mattock on for 20 minutes and just to give him that little bit of game time. Other than those, it's pretty much, other than those 2 players, potentially 2 players, I think we've got pretty much full squad. I can't think of anybody else who's out or potentially going to be out. No. Ben, I assume you think that we're going to go back to 3-5-2. Is that what I think?
I don't know. It's because he went 4-4, whatever it was, 4-4-2 diamond or whatever you want to call it, 4-1-2-1-2. And now I don't think I'll go back to that. Well, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I think he should. I think he should because we know what it's like. But like you said, we've only got 3 fit centre backs. That's what he said, isn't it? That's true.
Yeah.
Plus Harding.
Plus Harding. But I mean, for me, that doesn't play a factor. I mean, unless your leg's hanging off, you're playing. So, especially in this time, like you're playing, play through the pain, and you deal with it after the season, surgery or whatever. It doesn't matter. So I don't think that plays a factor. But I think he should go back 3-5-2, especially with Chio coming off at bench. I don't think he should start, especially in the 3-5-2. But yeah, I think he should go back to 3-5-2 because all of Sunday might be thereabouts. So if he can play, that'd be massive.
Yeah, he talked about Sunday after the game. It wasn't that he pulled his hamstring or anything. It was just an awareness that you shouldn't be able to feel your hamstring. If you can feel a hamstring, that suggests there is either a problem on the horizon or there is a problem. So from that, you would assume that all Sunday will be ready for selection, Mick, which then it makes everything. It doesn't make it a bit more comfortable. It makes it so much more comfortable.
Oh, big time, massively, and it just indicates how much we have relied on Matt Alasunde as being part of that back five, because when he's not there, it's caused us issues. It has caused us problems. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of resting him as a precaution, but what we don't want him to do is start and then tear his hamstring and be out for the rest of the season. When another game's rest, we'll see him in for 9 games rather than just the one. But I'm sure they'll deal with that. So we have to wait and see whether he's going to be fit enough to play or play any part in it. So we'll see on that. But yeah, I do hope that we can go back to that back 5 or back 3, dependent, because it's where we've had the success this season. It suits our style of play and it suits the players that we've got. Certainly the players that we've had available to us, and it's that's how we've won our games.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely is. Mick, have you done Ref Watch? If you haven't, I've got it.
I know that it is a Premier League referee. I can't remember his name. That's my problem.
His name's Lee Mason.
Lee Mason. That's it. Of course, is he not doing his penance, paying his punishment for the debacle in that West Brom game where he gave a free kick, didn't allow it, did allow it, didn't allow it, allowed a goal, disallowed it, and then allowed it again?
That's the one. That's the guy.
Yeah, I thought it was him. Yeah.
So everybody, if anybody watches football, you'll recognise him from that incident, and I think he's mainly an okay referee. He doesn't ref us very often. The last time he refed us was 15 years ago. He refed us in a 0-0 draw against Donny in 2006.
I bet he had hair then and all. I did.
I even had hair.
The downside to it, Matt, is that every time somebody sneezes, there's going to be a free kick, isn't there? You know what I mean? Because he's a Premier League referee. So,
that's what it were on Monday.
Yeah, well, it was, yeah. Of course it was. It is what it is, isn't it? We'll see. I mean, it can't be any worse than any of the other dross that we've had this season. So, hopefully it will step up. But we've got to concentrate on our own performance, and we can't influence that too much, can we?
No. Just quickly, while staying on referees, but moving away from Rotherham for a moment, have you seen that Carl Robinson has got very upset with Trevor Kettle this week?
Yeah. What a combo. What an absolute dream combo that is. Hey?
Poor Carl got sent off last weekend by Trevor Kettle for being aggressive and abusive to a referee. And Carl's come out this week and said that from now on, whenever Trevor Kettle's involved in his game, he's just going to sit in stand and not be on touchline. So he can be as far away from possible as Trevor Kettle, which I think is very petty, but at the same time, it's very funny.
You'd think, in all seriousness, that the Referees Association, whatever they call, PMGOL, GOPML, or whatever they call, them and all, surely, there has got to be a million better referees than Trevor Kettle in this country. There has to be. I cannot believe that man still gets a game on a Saturday in professional football. it genuinely beggars belief. It really does. Time and time and time again, he puts these performances in, and nothing ever happens to him.
Well, he gets to, you don't have to speak to Carl Robinson anymore, so that's reward what he's done.
Well, that's another reward, isn't it?
The petition to get him not managing refereeing games is on 1,777.
Yeah.
But let's be right about it. We've known about this since 2006. Yeah. We've known this is the referee that is like, we're still going.
Bizarre, isn't it? It really is bizarre.
I'll be honest. While everybody's upsetting Carl Robinson, you can keep going. I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I say, it's a perfect storm, isn't it? But the irony of it is that he'll be refereeing on Saturday. Carl Robinson will get a fine for whatever he's done, which is great. I like to see that as well. They should just fine Carl Robinson anyway for being Carl Robinson. But it's same old, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah. So where are we? Head-to-head record against Huddersfield. Mixed favourite section of any preview. We have.
Sorry. I drifted
no win in our last 7 games against Huddersfield. Can you remember our last victory against Huddersfield?
Carrie Arneson.
Carrie Arneson and Connor Salmon both scored in a 2-0 win in 2015.
Connor Salmon scored?
Connor Salmon.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was his final goal for the Millers. One of 3.
And only goal.
One
of 3.
Wow. It was his last goal in the Championship. He later went to Sheffield United and scored in the League One, but his last Championship goal. And it was Carrie Arneson's final goal for Rotherham United as well.
Oh, Arnie.
Yeah.
Arnie.
We were brilliant that day and all.
Yeah, it was a great day out, that, wasn't it? It was a really, really good day out, that. Really enjoyable. So hopefully we'll have another one Saturday.
Yes.
In the comfort of our own living rooms this time.
And we'll move on to current day stats. If Richard would start, it will be his 450th league career start, which is a lot.
Phenomenal, isn't
it? Crooksey will be, if he plays, will be his 200th career appearance, and Chio's next appearance will be his 50th in English football, like including once in Ireland. Ben, out of those 3 and the rest of the team, we've briefly touched on it, but where we starting? What lineup for you is the way to go? You have to talk about a 5 at back. Well, there's other questions in the middle and attack, but need answering before Saturday.
Woody's in there 100 times out of 100, unless his legs come off, then he's playing. I think 3-5-2, him, Icky, and McDonald. I think they're not the best, but they are the most. They've got the most chemistry because they played together the most. So I wouldn't change it, even if because it will come off eventually, and they know how each other play by now. Surely.
I also think that Angus McDonald's having the best run of his form of the season.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
we could talk about his distribution all day long, and that's easy to criticise. But at the end of the day, he's a defender. It's not his job to distribute.
Yeah.
His defensive work has been since the Sheffield Wednesday game or the game before that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic. I still see him getting grief, not from Ben anymore, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, he's stepped up a little bit, hasn't he?
He has. I think he's been really good recently. But go on, Ben, sorry.
Yeah. Or Sunday if he's fit.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna put Blackman in net because I think that first goal is inexcusable.
Right.
I'm still angry about that. Because I'm still angry about that first goal. I know it's a rookie error, but there needs to be a consequence because it was a big error, big error. We'll go 1-0 down against bottom of league when we haven't won from behind all season. It's not good. So I don't think he should start, in my opinion.
Gosh.
I mean, it's coming to the business end of the season. There can't be one slip up and we're down from now on. One slip up and we're down. So, That's the reality of the situation at the minute. But apart from that, unchanged. I think Freddie played well. I think Smith
Can't
played.
change. Too many players.
Well, don't tell anybody that, for God's sake.
If you've got 5 at back,
That was a secret weapon, weren't it?
Midfield.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking we're playing Harding and then Harding left back or Sunday right back if he's fit. If not, Harding right back and Wiles left wing back. Wing, Crooks and Lindsay, Smith and Freddie. In my opinion, that's how it should go.
Okay, so you're insisting on sticking with Freddie.
I think he played well, man. I mean, I think he played well.
Well,
I think it's.
I'll ask this question, and I'll ask it every week. What's the point in playing Crooks in that type of midfield? Barlaser in that type of midfield, Barlaser gives you. I know Barlaser has not been brilliant recently. Barlaser gives you more than Crooks does in that type of midfield.
I think I've said it. So I think when it comes to this point, I think it's all about who is willing to play the hardest. And I don't think it's Barlas's game to play hard. I don't think it's in his. It's mental, and I don't think he's got that. I think Crooks has. I think Freddie has. I think Lindsay obviously has. I don't think Barlas should start. I mean, I'm still angry about that performance. I can't remember who it was, but I don't think Barlas should start. I think Crooks should start. I know Crooks and Freddie, but yeah. I mean, yeah. If you need to,
Shall I come back to you?
Thing is, if you need to, right, you can put McDonald at left back, Harding at right back, and move Wiles into that middle while Crooks push forward, and then you got 4-3-3 essentially, which you could do because I think Wiles could just play anywhere. So yeah.
Fair enough. Mick,
I'm looking forward to
the same back 5.
I'm looking forward to Ben's fan prediction when he's got 12 players on it. I don't think he's going to let him do that, but we'll try. We'll see how it pans out. Same back 5 as Ben, definitely. For me, unless he's got a tear or a strain of his hamstring, Matt Sunday plays. Because this game is vital for us. If we can get off to a good start, if we can get off with a win, then it's going to really set us up this week. You know, we don't want to be on the back foot going into Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. We don't want to be doing that. We need to get off on the front foot. So if we can, I'm going to go with the same back 5. I'm not bringing Blackman back. I'm going to stick with Victor Johansson. However, if we do start to see a pattern of mistakes, then he's on his way. You know, he's going to spend a couple of games on bench for me, I think. But I think it'll be too harsh at the moment to drop him. Personally, that's my view. I can't believe I'm going to disagree with Ben. I'm going to drop Freddie down to bench for this game. Not because he's done anything wrong, but because I want to play that Smith and Crooks combo up front, because it's brought us a success. We need to go back, in my view, to what the way we played when we were winning games. We need to try and get that back in. Freddie's a great impact sub. We've discussed that time and time again on this podcast about Freddie's impact off the bench, and it allows you then to make your substitutions in the second half and possibly change formation. You can bring Sadler on, you can bring Chio on, you can bring Freddie on. You've got 3 massively attacking players there who you can bring off the bench should you need to make an impact. So yeah, as a midfield, I'm going for Wiles, Barlaser, Wing, and Crooks.
Are you playing left back?
I want to play Trevor Clark. Is who I want to play.
If
I know he's not going to do. I know for a fact that he won't. But if our picket team, Trevor Clark gets that left back spot. So
I think it's. I don't know what it is with him, right? But I think it's such a waste of money to just have someone and waste of talent, man. Like, I can only imagine how you're. I don't know. I know he's a young lad, but 20-year-old, right? He's probably so hungry just to play football, and he probably just anything playing five-a-side probably makes him happy. Do you know what I mean? Play any type of football, and have to sit on bench and while your team needs a left back, by the way.
Yeah.
To sit on the bench, I would be so angry. It's unreal.
Can you imagine how demoralising it is as a left-sided player, defensive left-sided player, to see one of the best central midfielders at the club play in your position?
I would.
Can you imagine how you'd feel?
I'd be having serious words, man.
I don't understand.
I understand there's a point of not giving a youngster too much exposure and all of this, right? But for a whole season, not even what is it? Two seasons, right? Coming off at bench twice? Come on, man. I'd be asking for a transfer. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I don't think.
It's also one of the sticks that people use to hit Paul Warne with, because this is what you do with any manager. If they make one terrible signing, then that's the one. Steve Evans had about 50, but he always brought success. There was never a moment in Steve Evans' managerial career with us where there was a moment you could really question him. Maybe in that championship season, we ended up staying up, so where you couldn't question him. We're now struggling, so this is when you can look at. People tend to look at these issues a bit more deeper, and it is a big question mark. If you're not going to play him, why did you sign him in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a bad signing. He had that chance to play. He hasn't. Yeah. Like, he could be Messi. I know he's not, but he could be. We ain't seen him play. We saw him play last year when he was ill, right? And he was palest person I think I've ever seen live,
Fleetwood.
Right?
Fleetwood, yeah.
Yeah, with Fleetwood.
They were all ill, and he played 10 minutes. And everyone in Rotherham were ill. I was ill. You know what I mean? How can you expect him to play with it? I understand he did, but you can't expect him to play him at his max. And to see him, twice or two other times? I mean,
start this season against QPR away, and we were terrible and he came off at half-time. I think that's his only start. I can have a look.
One start in 2 years is...
It's
disappointing. One start in 2 years, but go on, yeah.
It is disappointing, and I would like to know what the explanation is, but obviously it's not for us. Obviously, it's just, I'm not expecting an explanation. I don't deserve an explanation, but I'm sure the player will have had an explanation. I'm sure that will have been discussed. I'm sure it will, but it's just interesting. But anyway, for me, he starts on Saturday, definitely. Because he essentially offers what Matt Olasunde offers, but on the left. I accepting the fact that defensively maybe he doesn't quite fit that bill as Matt Olasunde does, but neither did Matt Olasunde when he first started. You know.
Whoa, come on, man! I think he did.
No, he didn't defensively. Defensively, he was a little bit error-prone.
You say that. Do you know how many one-on-one blocks he did? I think it was Scunthorpe.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been one-on-one. How many times has Wes Harding been in that situation? Very, very, very rarely.
Yeah,
but was in that situation a lot.
But he recovered.
He got himself out of it. Yeah, but he shouldn't be there in the first place.
But Wes, you're not comparing. You're comparing apples with oranges, aren't you? There, because Matt Olasunde is such of a more attacking player than Wes Harding is. That Wes doesn't get himself in that position because he's not as often that far up the pitch, despite playing at wing back. But Trevor Clark, get him in there. Come on, Warney. I'm texting him after this.
Yeah,
I'm sure now. I'm sure. He did. Listen. I had a birthday message off him, and he said he listened, and he said that I want positive one on here. So what can I say?
No. He said that your wife told him that you were the positive one. I'm surprised she told him that, knowing your wife. I'm surprised she told him you were the positive one.
Yeah, I am. She didn't.
What?
She didn't.
He's not the positive one.
Well, you're the negative one, Ben, to be fair.
Yeah. Come on. We're not doing that, are we? I'm not negative.
You're most negative out of us three.
I'm critical. That's not negative, though. Criticism is only a positive, I think.
Depends how you deliver it.
Yeah. It depends how you take it.
All right, anyway. Clark's had 5 starts for the club and 12 substitute appearances in the league in two seasons. I don't know how much paid for him.
It's not enough.
It wasn't a massive amount we paid for him, but we still paid out something for him.
He's got a lot more to offer than he's been given the opportunity to show for me. I think.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of form, playing, I'm going same as Mick, but in the midfield, if Wiles is not playing left wing back, start Ben Wiles in the middle of the pitch. I don't. You can drop Barlaser and ask Wing to do that Barlaser job just as good. And then it gives Wiles a bit of freedom. I mean, if you look at when Wiles has played best, remember against Preston when he scored, it was because we had to bring Lindsay off. It was given a bit more of a free role in terms of pushing up forward, and that was one of his best games at season for us.
Yeah,
that
was,
game.
yeah.
I know it's easy to say that when somebody scores for you, but it really was. You could see the freedom he had in his game, and that you just think of games like that, and then you think, well, you're sticking him at left back.
It's bizarre,
I'm not saying
isn't it?
he's a midfielder, but he's in the conversation because bearing in mind how many we've got.
I think he's his best midfielder. I think he is. I don't know who's better than him.
I think Wing's better.
No, I think Wing's attitude lets him down. Some of the things he does, he's very immature.
You asked why were the positive ones.
I know, but it is, isn't it? 2 shoots from edge of box, right? When there's 2 attackers behind you, and we're what? 1-0 up or something? Well, I can't remember what score were. Like, come on, man, go up.
That's part of why he's been brought in, though, to give you that option from distance.
True. I mean, Wing is probably the only person that comes close to him. I think he's better than. I think Wiles is, in my opinion, he's better than Crooks. I think he's better than Barlasser. I think he's better than Lindsay. And I think Wing's probably the only one in the conversation with him, but I think he's better than Wing, just because of his attitude.
The thing is, though, he is a similar player to Wing. He's not a similar player to Crooks. You know, he's not a similar player to Lindsay. So, again, you're not comparing like we like, I don't think. Whilst they both play central midfield, or they all play central midfield, they are different types of player. But in terms of being a danger, an attacking danger, I think he is the best. I think he is probably, I'm going to say better than Crooksy in that sense, but Crooksy's proved this season that he will pop up and he will score your goals and he will create your goals. So it's a tough one. But to have them playing together, geez, you know, playing alongside each other, that is a hell of an attacking midfield. But
well, that's what I mean. You can ask Wing to sit a little bit deeper than normal, and he could happily do that job, and he wouldn't take away from his game.
No.
And then you ask Lindsay to do whatever Lindsay does, and then you ask Wiles to push me forward. We're playing Huddersfield on Saturday, we're not playing Norwich, so we can afford to be a little bit more expansive.
We've got to attack. We've got to go out from minute one. If we from the first minute on Saturday, if we go out there and attack the way that we can attack, they will fold very quickly. I'm sure after the run of form that they've had and the debacle that they had down at Carrow Road, I think if we can come out of the traps all guns blazing, they will fold pretty quickly. That's what we need. It's got to be a quick start. It's got to be a quick start. Get into the face, get into the ribs, and that game is definitely there for the taking. Definitely. But so are Millwall, so are Wickham.
I completely agree. So we go into this game with 7 points adrift because Birmingham ended up drawing 0-0 on Tuesday night with Brentford. Huddersfield also drew 1-1 with Brentford a few weeks ago as well. I think that's more of a sign of Brentford rather than where Birmingham are and where Huddersfield are because they are garbage like Brentford. What constitutes a good outcome of these 4 fixtures, Ben? In terms of the points total,
I think the obvious answer is 12 points, but I know we're not. Obviously, that's not going to happen. I think 7. I think we cannot aim for any lower. I think if we just sit back in any of these games, we're just going to lose them all. You sit back to the best players, and we're just going to lose them all. So what's point? You know what I mean? So I think 7. I think minimum 7 is what we should get.
So if we've got 7, best case scenario is we'll come out with 7. In theory, we'll come out level on points. Knowing that's probably not going to be the case, but in theory, that's where it puts us. Probably would actually with Birmingham. If we get 7 points out of those 4 games, we almost certainly will be level with Birmingham. Coventry might, maybe not. Are you same as that mix, 7 points?
I want 12. I want all 12, but we haven't won 4 games on trot so long as I can remember. So, but all bets are off, aren't they now? You know, all bets are off at this stage of the season. Any results are possible from any teams. So I don't know when Norwich are playing on Saturday, but they could get beaten at home 5-0 by Blackburn, or what I mean, somebody mid-table. Those types of results and those types of runs happen.
And Blackburn even in Championship.
Yeah,
I thought they went down. I was so good making sure. I didn't want you looking like an idiot there, Mick. I'm just saying.
They're one of the teams that's sleepwalking towards the end of the season, though.
I don't remember playing them.
We lost, didn't we? That last minute winner.
Sickener, yeah.
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were brilliant. Well, brilliant.
Yeah.
We were very good for 70 minutes.
I do remember
that. So we'll go through.
Just bringing that up.
All right, mate. Anytime. We've still got them to play yet. Second last game at season. Well, third last game at season now. We've got Blackburn at home. Good time. It's a good time to play them because they'll be on beach by then.
Absolutely.
So we've got fixtures in and around us. Coventry go away to Bournemouth. These are all 3:00 kickoffs. Birmingham host Stoke. We're obviously go away at Huddersfield. Sheffield Wednesday go to QPR, and Luton and Wickham. Is that local derby, Luton and Wickham?
Yeah, kinda.
Berkshire?
I suppose it's down that. It's down south, isn't it? So they've got to be close to each other. It's south.
Well, yeah. I don't think there's any games on Sunday, although my phone is now playing tricks. No, it doesn't say there's any available. So yeah, they're all. It's a mixed bag. That anyway. There's nobody's playing Norwich. Somebody's playing Watford. They're all sort of. You couldn't really call any of them. Much like arguing with Huddersfield, they're difficult to call, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are. There's no point. There's no point even trying. Let's just sit back and hope for 3 points for us and none for anybody else. That's the ideal scenario, isn't it? So let's see what happens. None of them have got an easy game, have they? They're all playing teams that have got something to play for, with the exception probably of Luton and QPR and everybody else.
So we've got I put a tweet out today and put on Facebook the survival-ometer. Ben, I want to know where you are on the survival-ometer. We've got level 1 is the one where you think we're going down, so why are we bothering? Next one's we are down. Next one's still a small chance. Next one, we can do it. And next one is I don't care what you say, we are safe. And the top one would be go and get the champagne. So 6 levels there, Ben. Whereabouts do you sit on the survivalometer at the moment in terms of survival?
I think we can do it, probably.
It's very positive.
Yeah, well, there is 30 points to play for. We could end up 11th. We could finish 11th. So I think to rule out anything is...
Is playoffs out of question then?
You are?
Is playoffs out of question then?
Yeah. I think Mick's 6th is out of question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
we're always a bit optimistic.
I think we can stay up. I hope we stay up because I don't want one to go, which I think is a possibility if we go down. And if he does, I'll genuinely question my support for the club. You laugh. I'm being dead serious.
I know you're being dead serious. Every time you say it makes me laugh.
I know we spoke about that, so I'm not going to say about that. But yeah, I think there's a possibility. I think we've got one of the best managers in football league. So
okay, so you're Ben's at level 4 out of a possible 6. Mick.
It's a toughie. I'm a top end level 4, bordering on the course we're going to stay up. I think we can do it. I'm absolutely. Well, I know we can do it. I don't think there's any question about the fact that we can do it. We are capable of doing it. We have got the ability to do it. We've got all those games in hand, which means therefore that we can do it. However, I'm not 100% confident, obviously, but I'm bordering on it. I'm bordering on. Ask me again on Saturday, or a week on Saturday.
Week on Sunday.
Yeah, I think week on Sundays Gavin, I think week on Sundays, we'll know
Yeah, we will.
if we're down.
If we're down, we'll know.
It'd be near
the thing
mathematic,
is,
won't it?
not far off, mate. If we're still in the same situation this time next week, we're adding at least 2 games onto everybody else, 3 for Coventry. Birmingham will probably have 4 games left, 3 games left. Same with them, 4 games left. So in theory, we could mathematically be down by next week. That's not really a positive place to end, though, is it?
It's not going to happen, that. This is going to go down, potentially down to the last game of the season, potentially.
It is. I hope it does. I hope it does, because this is why we love football.
This is why we go to football.
I understand.
I don't support football to sit in my living room stressing my head off.
Yeah. Do you know, in 4 years, if we stay up, you're going to think, wow, what an enjoyable season that was. Every game was stressful. You will. I will, because I will. This is why I love football. If it were boring, you know what I mean? We'd go and support Celtic or something. Like...
He's bang on right. We've got people banging on social media about how Steve Evans managed to keep us in Championship and what a fantastic job it were. It was dreadful. It was awful. It was a horrible season. It was horrible, but we managed to stay up. So all we can see is the fact that we stayed up. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Let's see. Let's not try and make predictions because we crap at them. Well, I am anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think at the end of the season, then whatever happens, it'll be a bad season because we weren't there for that reason alone. We could have finished 12th. We weren't there. It's a bad season because of that.
One interesting stat actually that I picked up today, that I found today, which is not Rotherham United related, particularly, the Premier League this season. If you take the average over the last 10 seasons, this season there's been 32.5% more away wins.
Wow.
So
if you took a look at our fixture list, we're seeing that massively, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So that just gives you an indication as to the impact of supporters in football grounds.
Yeah,
you know, it's massive. It is massive, and I'll tell you now. You know, if New York Stadium had been full since September or whenever the season started, we would not be in this position now.
No, we do have the worst home record in the entire division.
Yeah.
After speaking, although our away record's not much better, only 19th best. But you expect that in terms of our league position. I think we played more away from home. I haven't said that actually.
Yeah.
No, the same. It's the same. It's away from home, but then the next 4 games after Saturday are all at home.
It's time. Come on. It's time. The time is now.
It's getting serious because we've got. Well, let's briefly run through the rest of our fixtures because we've done it for everybody else. So bear with me and we'll get the fixtures up because it's getting serious. So we have the first ones: Huddersfield Saturday, QPR on Tuesday, Coventry on Thursday, and then Birmingham City on Sunday. We then have Middlesbrough on the Wednesday, the 21st. We then have Barnsley on the 24th. We have then Brentford in that midweek. We then have Blackburn on the 1st of May, Luton the midweek on that one, and then we finish away at Cardiff on the 8th of May. A lot of games. Feels like we've got half a division left to play.
Ridiculous. It does, yeah. We've got nearly a quarter of a season to play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's mad. It's just mad. It's mad. And you know, we've got supporters of other clubs been telling us how we've been trying to fix it and fiddle it and how we're going to benefit from it in the long run and blah, 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 blah. What an absolute pile of garbage that was. How embarrassing. Anyway.
Correct.
What's wrong with me? Why do I want to upset somebody, don't I? I seem to want to just upset people.
I think that's just who you are.
All right. I apologise. I didn't mean to.
I'm not saying that.
Ben's being kind.
He is. Sorry.
But I'm surprised anybody else is listening. Any other non-Rotherham fans, although you never know. So yeah, thank you all for listening. Like I said, we'll be back a lot over the next few weeks. There'll be the post-match show after the game at Huddersfield. We're then back on Monday morning for the review of Huddersfield, where we're looking at QPR. We'll then be back probably Thursday morning, the morning of the Coventry game, looking back at QPR, looking ahead to Coventry. And then at some point at the weekend, we'll do the same thing, review Coventry, look ahead to Birmingham on Sunday, and then we go back to normal. 3 of those games are on Sky, if everybody would like to remember that. Coventry, Birmingham, and the Borough game after the Birmingham game are all live on Sky. They moved the Borough game to a 6 o'clock kickoff, which is just ridiculous. I know, but wait till everybody starts going back to work. Wait till lockdown's been released massively, so people are back at work, and then we'll make kickoff earlier.
Yeah,
divvies.
It's just another reason why I hate Sky, despite the fact I pay however many pounds a month to watch me football. But
dying breed, Sky. They'll go bust.
Yeah, they will.
They'll go bust. I've got no sympathy either. I hope they do. Yeah. I hate Sky.
If they go bust, there'll be a lot of football clubs go bust. I'll tell you that.
Well, it won't be before.
Well, they won't, because when I'm older, I'm not going to pay for Sky because I don't watch football. Because Premier League is dross. Honestly, I would rather go down to Millmore or Rawmarsh and watch Sunday League. It's better quality. It's genuinely more enjoyable to watch. Not better quality. It's more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable. People throwing themselves on the floor. Man. I'm not going to pay for it. I'll go bust. I'm the older. Well, when I'm older. In the future.
When Ben's older. Okay.
In the future.
So please subscribe to YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can find the Rotherham United podcast. Do subscribe and follow us there. We'd really appreciate that. And that's back on Monday. Mick, anything you want to add?
No, but thank you for asking.
Not a problem. Ben, you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, cool.
Happy as Larry.
Okay. So thank you. We'll see you all on Saturday for the live show if you fancy joining us. If not, we'll see you on Monday morning, bright and early, as we look at this first game of the week of death. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Ben. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Cheers, Mick. Cheers, guys. We'll see you soon.
Pringle looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant!